Welcome in, everybody. It is another episode of Scarves and Spikes. We are post LAFC at home, and it's depending on what day you consider the beginning of the week. It's the beginning of the week, and we have a fully rested Miami, almost fully rested Miami on Wednesday. But Tommy,
Wait, do you consider the week to start on Sunday or Monday?
I'm a Monday person personally.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know it was Sunday today until I looked at the calendar
Yeah,
and looked. I on holiday weekends, it all absorbs into one big day.
yeah, and happy Memorial Day weekend
Yeah.
to everybody. So, how you doing?
Another 90-ish minutes where I just said, why do I keep doing this to myself? Why? We talked about it before the game. I was like, I would do anything for a 2-2 game. I would do anything for a goal. Anything. No, this is not turning into a bet. We're not doing that. But I would do anything for a goal at this point.
Yeah. It was such a weird one, right? Like it was I don't know. It was very tit for tat, I think, in most of the match, but it wasn't inspiring in a lot of ways. Again, I think it was predictable. There was a lot of predictability in it, and we've kind of come to see that over the past couple of months. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time getting into the refereeing. I just thought it was inconsistent, and I do think that makes it difficult. But ultimately, I mean, LA scores on I think by that point it was the third free kick that they had in really good position, and of course it's with Brad getting the red, getting the dog getting sent off, and then I'm not going to sit here and take away anything from Josh Cohen because he got thrown into a crap show. Ball took a deflection.
Stretch. Didn't even have time to stretch.
Yeah, but he turned into a rubber band on that one. He tried. I can't knock him at all. But and then all of a sudden it was like the team came to life. Like they looked like they wanted to do something, but it just was too little, too late.
How do you have a terrible start every game? Like we just keep saying it. Like you need to it's Mercedes-Benz Stadium, right? That's all we keep saying, right? You're playing front of the best fans, and they're still showing up. You said they showed up, right?
Yeah,
like there was a decent amount of crowd there.
It was a good crowd. 43.
So you have a great crowd.
Something 43, 150.
Okay, on a Saturday, you got a ton of people there. Holiday weekend, and every game you start out completely miserable. It's just what's going to happen in these games, and I mean, Taylor Twellman said it multiple times. Like this was supposed to be Atlanta United's fortress, and they're having trouble playing at home. Like I know people don't like Taylor Twellman. I appreciate Taylor Twellman in situations where this is bad, and that I understand why people don't like him, right? I think it's also kind of why people feel about Felipe on occasions, right? Like you just see those tweets and everything like that, and you get upset. But in a situation like this, I think it's good for him to call out the problems that are here. And we're going to get it again on Wednesday. They're doing the game on Wednesday as well. It's good for, I think one of the biggest announcers to be on that game to talk about the problems. And I bring this up all the time, but he did the game where Joseph Martinez was suspended. And I loved that he was doing that game, right? Because it was just a big name saying that. And I don't think some of the other announcers that are on Apple are sometimes that honest as Taylor is, right? Like I can't see a Cangelosi going, just being that direct about how much of a disaster Atlanta United is. And right now it's a disaster, and the fans, I don't blame people if they don't watch sometimes right now, because they're not giving you a reason to watch, unfortunately.
And that's the thing, like it's not being unfair, right? Like obviously we're going to be a little bit biased because this is an Atlanta United podcast, but it's not being overkill at this point to just understand that things got to change, right? I think we're well beyond that. And, I would love nothing more than if they were to come out Wednesday and then again on Sunday and just absolutely look like a different team in the best way possible. But right now it just nothing is pointing to that. I mean, again, you had some decent moments yesterday. You had a good like final 20 minutes or so. Um, um, had a beer delivered because I need one.
Talking
But
about this game, talking about this week,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But I mean, but yeah, I agreed. Like Taylor Twellman is he's brutally honest, and sometimes folks need to hear that. And I think there is a line, and I'm not talking about Taylor, but I just think in general with fans of any soccer team anywhere in the world, you have to be careful. Like I've been saying for months now, like you don't be hateful, right? Don't be hateful. Don't be a douchebag. But you can call a spade a spade. And right now, Atlanta is not playing well at all. It's tough. It's rough. Pineda, whether anybody believes it's fair or not, is going to be the one to take the brunt of this. And I see people calling for, you know, things about Garth and then Boca again. And I just don't know that I agree with that because I stand by the statement I made at the beginning of the season that I still think this team has plenty of talent. I think this team has the talent that they need to go out and be a top 4 team. But there's just something going on. There's something not clicking. And I don't fully subscribe to the whole injury situation. I do understand that gets thrown around and that the injuries that you've gone through, they've definitely thrown a wrench in some ways. But they haven't thrown such a wrench that you can't win 4 matches in a row at home. That's not what's happening right now. I don't know what's happening. I wish I could put a finger on it, but it's just something that's just not clicking right now. It's not the mentality necessarily in terms of the guys wanting to go out there and play because they're going out there giving it their all. That's not the issue. Whether it's a tactics thing, you got to be aggressive for 90 minutes, something minor, it's tough, man. It's really tough, but it's not as black and white, I think, as some people make it sound.
Yeah, but look, I think people know that we have a talented roster. They do. And I think a lot of people are smart enough to know that, yeah, there's been some injury issues. The offensive side there for quite some time, there weren't many problems, and they still weren't scoring, right? You had problems on the defensive side of the ball, but you still weren't allowing, a crazy amount of goals, right? Like that wasn't the problem there. You just weren't scoring. And you're just basically reversed the roles of last year. You're not allowing goals, but you're not scoring, and that's what sucks. And the Boca and Garth situation, right? People are blaming them because they just haven't made a move yet, right? And complacency is something I think that fans are starting to think that this is what it is. Realistically, we don't know what that situation is. I saw Doug, I think, tweeted that he's tried to have an interview with Carlos and Garth, and he has been turned down. By the way, if you guys would like to show up on Scarves and Spikes, we will have you anytime.
Just about to say that. Feel free.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Come on over. Promise I won't shave my beard during that one.
Yeah, we'll air it all out. I promise. In the best way possible.
So, the fans are getting frustrated, right? And I've never seen an Arthur Blank ownership team, I guess, be that complacent in what's going on. They have made the moves that they needed to before, but at this point, you're hitting all-time records here. Things aren't looking better, and I saw Dan put, they didn't start out terribly. Yeah, they had a few chances for sure. Like it went back and forth there, but I mean, I just took out of that first half is that LAFC plays like how we want our team to play, right? And God bless Gregerson, right? Like Gregerson really, I mean, specifically him, I know it's a whole group back there, but man, he's just so solid. And I feel bad that, I said this way about Giakoumakis and Almada last year. I felt bad that we weren't getting the results because the defensive side wasn't helping, them out, right? They had to put up 3 or 4 to win a game, 3-4 or 2-3, whatever. And now we're in this situation where it's like, man, I wish we could get a result for Sleesh and Gregerson and, whoever's back there. And even Brad Guzan as well. I mean, Brad's had some nice saves over the time. But we're not. And it's just the fans want to know what's going on. And I think that most fans are smart enough to realize that if Valentino takes over or whoever temporarily, it's probably not going to get better, right? I don't think it's going to. Is there a chance it could? Absolutely. Will it matter at this point in time? I know we're not even at the half, the All-Star break and everything like that. I don't know. We're not even in the second transfer window yet. But you're going to you just keep putting yourself behind the 8 ball every single game. And I think that's what's frustrating right now, is that people are just seeing it get worse and worse. And it's like, okay, are we just waiting? Are we just letting this sit here? Because if he stays here until the end of the season, I mean, you're going to lose some people. And it's going to get verbally more loud there. I heard boos at the end of the game. Now, I've heard some of those boos were for the refs. I think that's what you said yesterday on Spaces. Yep. Like, yeah, that's there. But it's you're going to start hearing boos, throughout the game. And now you're playing Charlotte next Saturday or next Sunday. That's another chance where, I mean, the fans could get real loud, because I think a lot of people know that LAFC is a good team. I think they understand that. And maybe, I thought I saw someone said we out XG'd them in one graphic I saw, but it didn't feel like that in that game. Not at all.
I think a lot of that was in the end, because, I mean, now saying, I thought the fight was there from the team yesterday, but that might just be me. I mean, I think it was an improvement. I will say, like, I do think it was better than the Open Cup or against Nashville. Like, it was an improvement, but, going back to the finishing, I feel like it's 2022 again, talking about the finishing and being clinical and all that. Like, especially in that second part of the second half, you had opportunities. You had LAFC on their heels. Like, they were panicking, and it was rough, and it felt like it was coming. But again, it was too little too late. And, going back to the conversation with like Garth and Boca and all, I mean, my only thing about this. So if you subscribe to the idea that, Pineda is on his way out, if that's kind of how you feel, and it seems like a lot of the fan base feels that way.
You're talking to me. You caught my attention. Continue.
So I think, looking at it from an NFL or MLB perspective or NBA, like, that's severely apples and oranges. It feels like, when you have a situation like this, especially with the timing, you as a team and as a club, you can't just, it's not going to be as obvious to fans and anybody else where a soccer club is looking for the next coach, because that person could come from anywhere, especially in MLS, because you have every other league in the world just about ending their season right now. And I would be shocked if the decision has been made that Pineda is on his way out, whether that's true or not. If that decision has been made, I would be totally shocked if they do not have a short list of names that they are going to go after here very soon. I would be totally shocked. I don't think that they would wait if that's the route that they're thinking, because you're early enough in the season to make a change. So it's one of those. I agree. I think if you wait significantly longer, then the voices are going to get that much louder. The arguments are going to get that much louder. And you're fighting a even bigger uphill battle.
Yeah. And you have the example I keep giving is the Hawks, when they replaced their coach in the middle of the year a couple of seasons ago. They did it the All-Star break, right? Well, you have an international break coming up here after Sunday, right? You've got a couple weeks off there. The problem that makes this sport so unique is that a lot of your guys, your big, important guys, are going to be gone. So it's like, you could subscribe to, okay, well, in any other sport, yeah, you've got like a week and a half to work on things, have the new guy or the temporary guy in place, get the team together, make a few minor tweaks and move on from there. That's not the situation here. All your main guys that you want to be, I don't know who's all leaving this window, but I'm sure it's pretty significant of what it usually is, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be just about normal. Obviously, you've got
Sleesh is we know that situation now that
Salish is on his
he's
way.
gone.
Then you have Saba. Saba made the list for Georgia.
Gregerson?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm getting my dates all jacked up. I was not prepared for this question. I was just
Sorry.
thinking of everybody that is an international. Yes, Gregerson obviously is. Yorgos is, but again, if we're talking about Euros, that's out for them. So,
And he's recovering too. So who knows what's going to happen there? Almada.
Yep.
I mean,
So
you don't have much, and like I've been thinking this like in my head, like when would be a good time to make a change if they were going to do it, right? Do you do it right before the Miami game, so then you set this new guy up to come in, and if it gets bad, then the first game that the guy takes over could be a 3-4-0 loss to Miami. Or do you do it? Do you set this guy up for? I know Charlotte's better, right? I'm not trash talking Charlotte or anything. Obviously, they're doing better, but do you do it right there? Do you, if this goes bad on Wednesday, Thursday morning, new guy comes in, takes over for a couple days, and he's coaching the game at the Benz on Saturday, and you get at least a couple days with all the players in before they all dip out. I don't know what the answer is, or is it right after that? Like, and just opposite what I said here. Maybe you just do it because you've got that break in, and that's what works out.
Yeah, and
it's hard.
It is hard. It is hard, and it's hard in a lot of ways. Again, I've said it a million times, man. Like everybody on this coaching staff, super great people. They really are. I have nothing but respect for every single one of them. And if that is the route that this team is going, if that is the way that things are going, I wish nothing but the best to every one of them. I really do. I do think, again, and I've said it and I'll stick by it, I think that Pineda's got the right idea. I really do. But something is just a touch off. Something. And I don't know what that is. I can't put my finger on it. I have ideas, but I could sit here and say all of my ideas and, they could listen to this and be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you're an idiot. I'm not the one getting paid that money to coach the team, but it's just a crappy situation to be in. But I think from a club perspective, you still have time to make things right. It's not going to be easy, even at this point. If you were to start winning your games right now, you got a big freaking hill to climb. You really do. Like, you look at the Eastern Conference standings, and it's kind of scary how much room you have to make up at this point. And
you keep talking. I hear my dogs jumping into trying to get into the garbage can to eat over so much for a burger. So you keep going. I'll be back in like 45
I'll go
seconds.
on a roll. You're good. You go take care of your dogs.
Continue.
I got this. I'll maybe drink a drink while I'm chatting. But going back to the Lagerway and Boca conversation again, I mean, we've heard Garth Lagerway on 92.9 The Game and places just talking about kind of what the overall goal is for the season and for this year, and kind of where he feels the roster's at. So if you subscribe to those beliefs in terms of like he is expecting top four, go back to what Arthur Blank said a couple of months ago, that the team needs to win more games. And I think it was Doug that pointed out that since he said that at the opening of the U.S. Soccer, the groundbreaking for the U.S. Soccer headquarters here in Georgia, Atlanta hasn't won a game. So I don't think Lagerway is going to be one of those guys that's not going to put his money where his mouth is. I really think that the ideas are there. I think the list is there if that's the plan. Lagerway's not the kind of guy that's going to go into a decision like this and just, shoot from the hip. He's going to be level-headed. He's planning, prepared. I don't get any kind of Lagerway or Boca, honestly, frustration at this point. I understand the fans being frustrated at Gonzalo Pineda. I do. Team's got to play better, period. And that's being fair. That's just being fair. Like, the team has to play better. This is not good. This is the worst run of form the team has ever had in its history.
Which is insane because it's been really bad at points.
Yeah.
Real
But like, this is it. This is bad. 4 in a row at home. and then what is it, 9 now total, like unbeaten? I mean, you haven't won. You haven't. God, I can't even talk. I'm so freaking frustrated. You ain't played well in a long time, and that's where we're at. That's where we're at. And so, I don't know, man. It's just I don't think it's I don't think it's laziness. I don't think it's apathy. I don't think it's, Carlos and Garth just kicking back, having a beer. I just don't think it's that. And Zilf, and I see Dan saying, like, talking about Spectre, Jonathan Spectre. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not convinced that that's a problem. And because Spectre was here when they found Thiago Almada. Spectre was here when they found Slish, Gregerson, like Muyumba, all these guys. He's been a part of going out and finding talent. And what have I been saying? I feel like really, like, Boca has been really, really good at bringing in talent. I just think maybe the timing on a lot of those guys wasn't where it needed to be. It was a player going into the wrong system or whatever. They've been able to go get talent and convince talent that maybe wouldn't have otherwise come here to come here. Giacomakis being one of them, Almada being another one. I mean, there's plenty of, scenarios of them bringing in the talent. But I think Garth is the one that kind of gave a little bit more of a vision and said, these are the parameters that I want. Now go get the best that you can get within those parameters. So Spectre's part of that, and he's going out and finding the right talent. I can't harp on that at all.
I agree. They were eating hamburger buns, by the way, when I went up there.
Yummy.
I got 2 little ones. Like, this is one of the little ones, but then I got a 50-pounder that can jump up on stuff. And I thought she was getting the garbage, but she just found a whole pack of hamburger buns and was going to town.
Yummy. Were they like
so Kevin,
gourmet hamburgers, or were they just like something you slapped on?
I don't know if you slap hamburgers, but no, they were good hamburgers.
It depends on what kind of hamburgers.
Right.
It's way too early for this conversation.
Right. Kevin, Tommy, be honest. Do you think fans' pressure and frustration with Pineda is unfair? No. Look, I don't care what fan base you are. If you're a dedicated fan, right, and like we joke about Vancouver or whatever. Sorry, they didn't show up Vancouver. If you're a fan of any team, right, whether it's a huge fan base or a small fan base, you want the best for your team. And you have a large enough sample. Like, I was upset when people call for Pineda after that first half of the season or last quarter of the season. Then the second year, you obviously had, the injury issues and all of that. And people are calling for Pineda at the end of, early last year. But you knew the roster wasn't that good, right? And it just puts you in that, like, tough situation. Like, when do you give this guy a fair chance? Well, I get it. And you've had some injury issues here. But what was working is not. We're not seeing enough adjustment here. They tried something different this week. It didn't, especially early on, it just wasn't anything special. I understand that Pineda can't score the goals, right, for these guys missing shots. But it hasn't been good enough. So many turnovers, frustrating. I mean, it's just easily giving the ball back to teams at that point. And you almost lost to Charleston. Like, that's the reality of it. And I understand you played younger players and everything, which frustrates me even more because I wanted to win that game. And I don't think we should have won that game. I really don't. Especially at the end there when they were able to bring the subs in. I mean, they were attacking. They had very good looks at the end of that game there. And yeah, you had a miracle in the penalties that kept you alive and you move on. But again, that's not good enough. The fans want something. What's that?
Open Cup hero Josh Cohen.
Yeah.
Brandon Vasquez Open Cup tournament trophy winner. Josh Cohen.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. That's what it is. But like I said this on Spaces, like, it's so good that out of all the crap that's happened with Manchester United this week, like, you had the Open Cup, you ended up pulling out a huge win for City, and that gives the fans something, right? And it probably doesn't save their coach, I don't think, but at least it was like something that the fans were able to get behind, have a fun day yesterday, celebrate the win, and go from there. Like, and hey, if you really want to, if your goal is get back into Champions League, the other thing I want to talk about Champions League, if you get into Champions League, you get to start your preseason earlier than everyone else. I'm just saying, if you are having a new coach come in, whether it's this summer or in the winter, having an extra couple weeks can't hurt. At least that's my thought. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I agree. I mean,
It's just little things to think of, like, oh, okay, cool if you make it, but I want to see something out of here, and I just don't see the season getting fixed, no matter what. But
yeah.
the fans are wondering, why isn't Garth saying anything? And I didn't get a chance to listen to Garth. I know the Odyssey app lets you rewind, but he's on the pre-match, I think, almost every game, like with Jason and Mike. I couldn't go back and listen to what it was. Kevin in our Discord talked a little bit about it, but I don't want to even bring it up because I don't even remember what it said. But like, I think it was something like they know that they're struggling, and like I get that, but this is bad. I mean, this is real bad at this point here.
Well, and you also have to, I mean, it's tough because from a, CEO type perspective and from a club perspective, like it's tough to you can't just come out unless you're ready to, right? Unless it's planned for you to come out and say, like, this is what we're doing. There's a time and a place for it. You might get the Jose Mourinho's of the world that are just going to say whatever they freaking want to say, and that's fine. And that's great. It makes everybody's job much easier in terms of media. But I understand why it doesn't happen. And, I don't expect Lagaway or Boca to say anything until they're fully ready. And it does suck. Again, Garth, Boca, Pineda, if any of y'all want to come on the show, by all means, it's an open invite, please. But they're not going to say whatever they're going to say or do whatever they're going to do until they're good and ready. And that's not a Garth thing. That's not a Darren Hills thing. That's just the way it is. And I wouldn't expect anything like off the cuff. I wouldn't expect anything just out of left field, right? Like this is going to be something that is thoroughly thought out and planned well ahead of time, if that's where they're going. And, I'm sure the news will happen and you're going to have significant information to go along with it when when that happens. That's all assuming it does happen sooner than later.
Press tour, baby. I mean, that's what it is. Like you're taking all the shit and trying to, turn it into gold, or right? I mean, it's going to be I mean, people are going to be happy, I think, that there's just a change just for the sake of change. And that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it is fine.
It gets people to go. It gets people to go to the games. I tweeted yesterday, so many people were giving the tickets away. So many people were online just saying, "Hey, does anyone want my free ticket?" If I lived, I would just, wait and take all the free tickets to go to these. But yeah, I mean, people were giving the tickets away. I went on to StubHub about an hour before the game. There were seats in like the lower level for like $25, like a ticket that I think I probably paid like $120 for to start the season. I mean, that's a good deal. And this is LAFC. This was like one of the big games that you were looking at, saying, okay, like this is a big game here, right? And it obviously wasn't what we came into, and the situation sucks with Guzan and all of that, and how it happened. But realistically, I understand the XG's there, and all of a sudden we got better when we were a man down. But that's even more frustrating that you really just couldn't get that much going early on. And yeah, your defense, was able to help you out and stop it. But I mean, definitely LA was the better team. Charleston was the better team. What was the game before that? Nashville. I don't know about Nashville. I mean, I definitely think Nashville probably deserved the win in that game. I mean, they definitely had the better chances, right? Obviously, a couple weird calls with Brad in both those, but it's just not there, and it's not getting better. And like, I feel like we keep saying the same thing. I'm trying to like say like the things in like different ways, but like, yeah, I understand the XG was there for a while, and you just weren't finishing. But now you're not finishing, and the XG is hardly there. It was better yesterday, for sure. It was a crazy end to that game.
Still on me
but
here.
Was there 8 to 10 shots on target?
Wait, hold up. We didn't say on target. I said 8 to
No.
12.
Oh no, I said on target. I
Oh,
said on
whatever.
target. That's why
If
that's why
you
I
said
freaked
that,
out.
I missed it. Let's see. I'm
You said
curious.
because I said 1 to 2, and you said like 8 to 12 or whatever, and I said we're going from 2 to 8 and 12. We could pull the tape,
Yeah.
buddy. I know exactly. Like
I mean, I'm
I
sure we
understand
can.
shots. Yeah, I could pour a bunch of shots, but I'm not doing them. What is that?
Then you're lame. What are you doing? Why are you wasting alcohol?
Well, exactly. That's my point. But you're just trying to get on a bet by me just pouring shots. You got to actually
We
take it.
had Atlanta had 17 shots.
How many on target?
That's what I'm looking at. Keep talking.
Oh, I'm just excited to hear it because there's no
No,
way it
you're
was
just
8.
waiting. Okay, fine. I see how it's going to be. We had 5 on target.
Okay, I mean better for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, also it's just that game was just so crazy. It was just wow.
It was a weird one for sure. I mean, again, if you want the silver lining, you look at Nashville. Okay. You look at Charleston. You squeaked by the skin of your teeth. You squeaked out a win. And then here against LA, I mean, you lost. That's what everybody's going to focus on. I get that. But you had moments where you looked better. You got to figure out how to make that a 90-minute performance. And I understand that like what you did in the final 20 minutes is not sustainable for 90 minutes, but it's got to be that aggressive. And I see, like Mark saying in the chat, we don't play attractive soccer anymore. It's slow and predictable. Nowhere near the look of our Tata run team. Fans will lose interest with that. I mean, I don't think that you can't expect to have that type of play in terms of like Tata Martino's style with every coach that comes in. So I think maybe that's a little unfair, but I do agree that like it needs to be attacking soccer, but it needs to be less predictable. Right now it's so predictable. It's, you're going to play out of the back. You're going to go inevitably way out to the wings to move the ball into the final third, but then it becomes way too predictable after that. There's no significant moments where you're trying to force things through the middle. The wingers won't generally drop over to the midfield to help move the ball through the middle and allow one of your fullbacks to make that deeper run up the side or whatever. Like it's just spray the ball out wide and then try to put the ball back in the box. And we saw Saba and Shande get a little fancy with it at moments last night. And you saw some opportunities come from that when Saba and Shande kind of cut back inside a lot sooner and played more to the top of the box than the outside of the box. You had moments. And, that Daniel Rios miss is going to, I feel for the guy. Wow, Emilio.
Emilio put a comment in here. Tata didn't invent attractive soccer. Tata's dead. Get over it. Emilio, I got the best news for you possible. He's alive. But he's in Miami.
And we're playing them on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So.
And that zombie's going to kill us.
It's gonna be rough, man. And I'm not saying that it's gonna be a bloodbath, but I mean you just look at the way that the team's results have been. I'm not even talking about the way that they've been playing, just the results. Like it's one of those moments where it seems like you can't find a win even if it landed in your lap, and that sucks. That's a crappy place to be because it's demoralizing. And I saw somebody earlier in the chat like asking what the locker room is like. I mean, they're upset. Do I think everybody's like against Pineda? No, I don't. Actually, I don't feel that way at all. But everybody's rightfully pissed off and demoralized and sad. And like, they're just like, what do we need to do to win a freaking game? Like win an MLS game. It's tough. I don't know what the right answer is, man. If I was getting paid, a lot of money to be in that decision-making process, then I would put a lot more thought into it. But all I can tell you is that clues what the front office has said in terms of where they want this team to be, what Arthur Blank has said from the get-go in terms of where they want this team to be, where this team is currently at and where they have been over the past couple of months. all of that only points to one direction. And I hate that because at the end of the day, there's only one person that's going to take the fall for it. I don't see them waiting that long because of all the things I just said. I don't think that you let a whole almost little under what 3/4 of a season, a little over half a season go. I just don't think you let it go. There's still a lot of soccer to be played, and it's MLS. Seattle did it a couple of years ago where they were rough for the first quarter of the season, and then all of a sudden they won MLS Cup. Like, weirder things have happened. Am I saying that's going to happen now? No, but it's not. It's way too early, I will say. And I know people are like in the comments and stuff saying like you're crazy. It's too early to call it quits. If we were having this conversation in like August or September, then okay, then that's a totally different conversation, man. But like we're just now getting to the end of May. It's tough, but it's not over.
The East is too good. The teams that you thought that were going to be good that aren't, and there's quite a few that are there, they're going to get better. And we could get better too. But the East is stacked, man. I mean, Columbus isn't even all the way up there right now. I mean, obviously they've got their own stuff going on that they're working, on, but I just don't see it at this point. I don't think it's. And what do you do here in this transfer window? Like, what can you do? Right now, we're broke. Right, we're broke. You're gonna have to move players out to move players in. How quickly can you? I mean, how quickly can you get? Can you get your U22s bought out? Can you get rid of Abram, right? Can you move Ronald Hernandez early? I don't know if that's a fix because you don't have a lot of depth back there with Caleb Wiley gone, right? You're gonna need Ronald Hernandez at least here for a little bit, so that's not a piece. I mean, there's not a lot that you can move out here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the answer here is. I think if you, I said earlier in the year, I thought Almada was going to stay here the entire year because I thought this team would be competing for a trophy, and I thought, they could convince him to stay, and then you move on from the winner. At this point, I know everyone's all about, making money and all of that. I think, well, I don't know. I guess I've thought of, now I'm contradicting what I said. It's like, I'd like some of these moves to happen with a new coach in place, right? Manager help pick your DPs and all of that. But I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. Now, if you sold Almada and you don't replace him here, I mean, fans are going to be upset. Is it maybe good in the long term to wait for your new manager? Sure. But man, that's really going to piss the fans off. Especially like the fans that don't understand a lot of the nuances of the cap. They're not going to understand it. And then it's waving the red flag. And you have teams that do that in every sport. Trade deadline, they trade all their guys away. And they're just going for, the best lottery odds, the best draft pick in the NFL, all of that. I mean, guys, let's get excited for the super draft pick. But yeah, I mean, it's a hard decision, right? Because like I'm like contradicting myself. Like, yeah, let's replace Almada here. But no, I think if you have a chance to make some money on him, it's not like you're might make a run here. So move on if you get the right offer, move on from him and start looking for that long term Almada replacement.
Yeah,
and don't tell me Almada's value has like significantly dipped. I don't believe that at all. I just don't. I think that anyone going out and scouting someone would know that he's on an underperforming team right here. In general, right?
Yeah,
like, you can't say like much good about anybody here on this team except a couple guys. Everyone, looks bad in this situation. I don't know. I don't buy that his value has all of a sudden sunk. That you still can't get a good offer from this guy at all.
No, he's still extremely valuable, one of the top in the league, 100%. Like, he still has the Olympics coming up. There's still plenty to go that, a scout could look, like you said, and see that like the team's just not playing well right now at all. Look at what happened when he came on last night. He brought some life to this team that was desperately needed. But see what he does in the Olympics. He's going to be the captain, I imagine. And just he'll be fine. I'm not worried about what Almada is going to go for. What I am worried about is getting the team with the right personnel overall to where they're going to start winning games. That's ultimately what matters. And I've been harping on it for months now, ever since it happened to Columbus last year. But Columbus, I mean, you got rid of one of your best players, one of the best players in MLS. And everybody was like, "Oh, what are they doing? This is going to kill their season." And then what do? They go and win MLS Cup because they made the right moves. And I said it last year, the summer transfer window is the wild card. It can change. Look what it did to Atlanta last year. Atlanta was one of the better teams in the second half of the season. But
Good coaching, though.
the
Really,
issue right
really.
now is beyond players, because the personnel actually, for the most part, is there for this team to go win matches. It's just not being done.
I mean, Nancy's good. Like, he's really good. I mean, we went to MLS Cup. Like, you hear this guy talk. He's a leader. I mean, he really is. And I keep saying it, but I mean, watching them this year when they have just gone on full on rest, they're still getting results. Maybe not wins, but they're getting results, right? They're grinding out 0-0 games, maybe a 1-1 game. They're getting, goals from guys that you wouldn't think of, right? Guys that they're calling up from the next pro. I mean, that's what you want. And that's what you got to look for. And I know it's not easy, to find the right guy. The good news is, and I understand Miami's in a whole new world here of what everyone else is, or in a different world. This can come together pretty quick. And I'm not saying 2024 quick. I'm saying 2025. And I guess I can't keep saying it enough. You are opening up cap space. You are going to, potentially have more DPs. You're getting extra buyouts. Like, if you really wanted, you could go and really gut, 4 or 5 guys from this team at the end of this year.
Well,
And
more than
continue.
that, if you're talking about 2025, there's like 12 players that are going to be on an option year. So you could have a lot
Right.
more.
Yeah, I'm thinking more of maybe some of the bigger guys. I
Yeah.
know there's definitely some smaller guys there, but some of these guys that you're seeing a lot right now, you can get rid of and move on. And like, I think the test has shown that, or the results have shown that you're getting some good players. You're able to get these guys. You're getting them on long-term contracts. You got Slish and Gregerson for a long time here. I mean, that's the model of what they're trying to do here, and they're getting the right guys. And yeah, I understand Silva hasn't been as great as he was to start the year, and I was a little worried about him being here long term because he did disappear in a lot of games towards the end of the year last year. He was either on or he was off. I still like what Saba's doing. I know there's some Saba haters out there, but he's creating some chaos on his own on occasion. Again, though, when the team's not all working together, it's just nothing's clicking. They got to get that figured out here. So nobody wants to hear this, right? Like, in my opinion, I think the season's pretty much sunk, right? Besides Open Cup. I don't think Leagues Cup's going to be successful for you because of everything we said, of all these players running out. If you can find your guy and you could start the building process now, as opposed to waiting until the winter and preseason, great, fantastic. If you can't and you got to go run with, a Valentino until the end of the year, it's not the end of the world. But I would love if they'd be able to find someone at this point and at least start building, so you're not starting from scratch at the beginning of the year. Especially because then if you won leagues, or if you won Open Cup, then you're starting in Leagues Cup, and where does it go from there? But I think we're in good shape here. It's just the rebuild process from Nashville of 2020 until now. It's just been mediocre, unfortunately. Yeah, you made the playoffs last year. You gave Columbus a little bit of a fight in one of them. But you got to do something here. You spend the money. Obviously, you're a club with huge ambitions, and you have been a big part of this, league, especially for the first 3 years. But it's been downhill, and you got to do something to fix it now. The fans are getting upset. The fans are, running away. Got to do something, Atlanta.
Yeah. Colonel was saying his opinion. LAFC match was not slow. Didn't think predictable. Horrible giveaways and worse finishing, but neither slow nor predictable. I don't think it was slow. I think it was less predictable than it has been for
It was
sure.
too
And I was,
fast.
it was back and forth in a lot of ways.
Do you want to get in a track race with LA? No.
Right.
Do you want to get in a track race with Miami on Wednesday? No. You're going to get destroyed. If you
Maybe
do
in the
this,
second half because they're old.
they're scoring a lot of goals in that second half now.
I know.
A
It's
lot.
going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Their knees
I
are good
agree.
right now. Their knees are rested, man.
I know.
They got Vicks. They put the Vicks vapor rub all over themselves yesterday.
All over
watching,
the chest, right here.
Yeah, watching 360. I mean, that's what they were doing. Just the vapor rub on every part of their body. They're ready.
Yeah,
they'll be ready on Wednesday.
All right, Sunday. Put it in your calendar if you're going to be at the Benz.
Today's Sunday.
Next Sunday, a week from now.
I was like, what are we doing?
We are going to be doing a live show at the Nest on 4 bar at Signia. So if you've been to one, we appreciate it. Come back out. If you don't know, this is the giant glass hotel that's right next to the Benz, and the bar is on the 4th floor. You just walk in either of the lobbies. You go straight up to the 4th floor.
Escalator.
Right there. Yeah, to go up the escalators. Or if you park in the orange deck or anywhere on that side, you can walk straight in actually from that level. So we're gonna be doing the show, kicking it off right at 2:30, games at 4:45. So we'll go right until the lineups are dropped and talk about the lineups really quick, and then we'll cut it. Let you guys have plenty of time to get inside the bins and get settled and get ready for whatever may happen in Atlanta versus Charlotte. But come out. Please come out. We have a good time with it. We have fun. It's live. We try to get the audience, the people involved, come hang out and give your opinions just like you do here, just like you do on Spaces, and just come enjoy a drink and get you something to eat and just hang out and chat with us. So we have that. We also have 2 more of those coming up for Copa America. So June 20th and June 27th. Even if you're not going to the Benz, come hang out, watch the show at the bar. And be there.
The game at the bar too, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, come hang out for our show. But if you're not going to go inside to see Messi play against, who is it, Canada, I think is the opening match, Argentina, Canada, just hang out at the bar and hang out while we do our live show. We'll have a good time. And Wednesday, you want to tell them what we're doing Wednesday?
Losing?
Jesus Christ. That's not what I meant, Tommy.
I didn't know where you were going with it. We're doing a live watch along on YouTube. It should be fun. We're gonna start at 6:30, do our normal lineups, and then just stay on from there. And we're gonna get some people from Atlanta United TV are gonna hop on. We're gonna probably throw it out to some people that are our patrons if they want to. Patrons want to come hang out with us as well. If you want to hop on, you're welcome to. It'll be a good time.
Open for everyone, but patrons, if you want to hop on and just give your 2 cents for a little bit during
on the stream,
during the stream,
pop up on camera and all that, yeah.
But anybody can watch on YouTube.
But we're closed. Like, just make sure that you have clothes on.
Yeah,
when you do that. If I can't do it, you can't. So, I mean, that's obviously an important part there. But yeah, I mean, some of the best things about this season, and I keep saying this, is this what Atlanta United TV does, the Discords, all the chat. Like, this is kind of what keeps everything going, right? Like, keeps you getting through a bad season, being able to talk about it, getting your frustrations out, and hearing different people's ideas on what they want to do. I mean, obviously we've been seeing a lot of managers, names get thrown by here, some of the changes and the lineups and all of that. But I want to see. I want to feel something going into a game, and I haven't really felt something here in a while. I'm waking up, in the morning, going, "Oh, it's game day. Let's see what happens." And I sat down for that game, and I said, "Please score a goal. Please just score one," and we couldn't do it, unfortunately.
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready for some kind of excitement, wherever that may come from. Speaking
What's
of
your
excitement,
prediction? What's your excitement?
Excuse me, while the person with the giant garbage exhaust comes rolling up my road outside.
Speaking of excitement, though. Oh, wait, hold on.
Here we
I
go.
found this at the store today.
Hey.
An old school Trae Young bobblehead. Well, my wife found it. She wanted me to make sure if I brought it up.
There you go.
Since I shit talked her in the last episode, I had to make sure I said something nice. So yeah, she found it for me. So thank you, Tina.
There you go.
But your predictions, I mean, so far we got a couple doozies out here. Got Omar 5-0 Miami. Now Omar's like the most positive person. He's in our Discord yelling at us when we are negative. So Omar's broken at this point. Omar, we'll work on it. Justin 6-0 Miami 6-0.
I mean, y'all are acting like Atlanta doesn't have a defense that's been doing pretty well. They just can't score goals right now, guys.
But you're going against the best right now. The
100%.
absolute best.
100%.
All right. Here we go. Here's a prediction. Axlo? I don't know what to call it.
AX1. I don't know. We've gone back and forth.
4-1 Miami. We are hot garbage. But in that prediction, we scored a damn goal. There we go. Let's go. We scored a goal. Cheers. Anyway, so what do you got?
I got Ben just took it 3-1. Ben said 3-1 Miami late second half goal when their legs are tired. Exactly. That's how I feel like it's going to go down.
No, when their legs retire.
He said retire. I was trying to help him out a little bit, but he's not wrong. They retire. He might have said that on purpose, actually, because
I think he said it on purpose.
Some of them are just that far from retiring.
Murder, She Wrote's on at 8:30. So, so unfortunately, Miami's got to get the game done before 8:30.
Get off.
You got Jeopardy, right? You got Jeopardy on, all of that. Like you got to get it. You got to get in. And so they get in the locker room and watch that.
Yeah.
Quantum Leap's on. Not the reboot, the old school one. Quantum Leap was a banger. That was a great show.
Jack, 3-0 Miami. Kyle, we can't score in a brothel right now. It's only 6:53. We haven't
Is
even
that Bo? Is that Bo's burner account? That sounds like something he would say too.
Yeah, 3-1. 3-1.
3-1. I got 3-0.
Okay.
Atlanta.
Well, I hope for your sake I'm more right than you are.
I said 3-0 Atlanta.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
What kind of gummy you had taken? The other bit of excitement.
It was like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, well, there you
That's
go.
why we got to get going here.
Friday. I don't know the details. I'm assuming it's going to be similar to how it was last year where they stream it, but they're having a media match on Friday around, I think, 1 o'clock or so. So if you want to see yours truly and a handful of other media members like Jackson and Henry, and I don't think Doug's playing. I don't think Sydney's playing. Felipe, I'm sure, will be there. The guys from Soccer Down Here, Jarrett, I think Madison might be. Jason and Mike should be calling it again, which will be fun. But then media from all over. We'll be out there running
85
around.
85 degrees.
Yeah, which is better than last year. Last year it was like almost 100. So I'm totally okay with 85 degrees. Like that's like running in a refrigerator compared to last year. Hopefully I won't miss any sitters. Hopefully I don't tear my ACL or Achilles or anything like that.
Has anyone got hurt at the media game? Like legit hurt?
No. Knock on wood. Knock on wood for real. I missed the tap in last year and I completely obliterated a header, but I caught my hat while doing it. So I'm going for something similar this year. Sheath said the media match where we can show the team how to score goals. I don't know. I'll do my best.
What would your celebration be? When did we voted on if you score a goal, what your celebration would be?
That you should put that out to Twitter. And
if we vote and if you do it, you take your kid off and then you have a Scars and Spike shirt under it.
And it can come running up with a yellow because I took my shirt off.
Oh, no. That's what shirt is it? Oh, Scars and Spikes. That's a red.
Yeah. Yeah. You're out. Go. Get off the property.
Get off. Well, there's Tyler Pilgrim going into business for himself.
The gritty. Ben saying the suey. Kevin doing the mic drop. I don't know.
I want to see you do the worm. There's a wrestler in WWE right now. It's called Otis. He's this big dude that does the worm, but he calls it the caterpillar. I'd love to see you do that.
We'll see. You should put it out to Twitter. I mean, this is all assuming I can score a goal because God knows I missed the tappy-innest of tap-ins last year in the worst way. It made me sad, but we'll see. It made me feel better about seeing a professional soccer player and Daniel Rios miss one last night, though. So it happens to all of us.
Or to all of us recently.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Plenty of us. All right, cool. So 3-1 for me, 3-0 for you. We didn't get Sydney's, but we will definitely let y'all know. Do the yeet. Tommy, what is the yeet?
I think he's talking about Jey Uso from WWE.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's got a...
Okay.
That's what that is.
As long as it doesn't
Just
involve
pulled it.
acrobatics, I'll consider it. Because I might not mess my leg up playing. You try to get me to do like a backflip or something, and I'm done. I'm done for the season entirely. Cool.
That'd be great.
All right. We'll be back here on Wednesday, and y'all be sure to come back out Sunday for sure, and come hang out with us at the Signia Hotel, the Nest on 4 bar, and enjoy a day with us, and pray that the soccer gods shine on Atlanta United between now and Wednesday, because they're gonna need it.
What's your you ever watch the Addams Family?
Which one?
Any of them? Like, you know, like the Addams Family, right?
Yeah.
What's the scariest one?
Ooh.
Like, which one were you, like, were you scared of any?
I had to bring this back.
Welcome back.
For a second. No, I don't think I was ever really scared of it. I mean, the ones in Scooby-Doo back in the day were kind of weird. Like when they did the crossovers, you know?
Well, it's the same for me. For the Addams Family and this week, Wednesday is the scariest.
You had the characters. Oh, yeah, Wednesday's a straight murder. Like, absolutely.
And we're going to get straight murdered on Wednesday, too.
Wednesday's the only real scary person out of all of them.
I don't know. Uncle Fester in the head. I don't know. He put light bulbs in his mouth and it lit up.
Yeah.
And you had the hand. You had cousin it. Wait, no. That was
the hairy guy thing. Wait, god dang it!
Well, you just keep it. No, and then cousin it, which was the fur ball.
Cousin it's the fur ball. The thing.
Yeah,
thing is the hand.
And Lurch. But I was just making a stupid joke about how I'm scared of this Wednesday. It was just a long way of doing it, and just watching you screw this up like 5 times was
too
more
far.
worth the joke.
Took it too far, Tommy.
It was well worth this.
I'm going back in for the 3rd time. Thank you to our Patreons, Patreon members. See, I can't even talk right.
Thank you. Jesus. I gotta go drink more. I'm gonna go watch the South Park special.
There you go.
See you guys.
Have fun, everybody.